In this lecture on auditing, we're going to discuss the Code of Professional Conduct. Now, the Code of Professional Conduct is really derived from what the public's expectation is of auditors. They expect us to be trustworthy, responsible, and accountable. They want to rely on us. So not everyone probably would come up with the same definition or maybe come up to the same conclusions specifically of what those words mean. So hence we needed a code of professional conduct that outlined that standard for individuals within the profession to adhere to. Now, the organizations that have provided such guidance for auditors include the AICPA, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and PCAOB, or the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, affectionately known as Peekaboo, even though it doesn't quite line up that way with the letters. When I say Peekaboo, I'm referring to the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. Now let's focus on the AICPA's Code of Professional Conduct first. So it consists of 6 principles. First one being responsibilities. Carrying out responsibilities in a professional manner. Exercising sensitive professional and moral judgment in all activities. Number 2, public interest. Act in a way that serves the public interest. Honor the public's trust. Demonstrate commitment to the profession. Number 3, integrity and objectivity. Maintain and broaden public confidence. Perform all professional responsibilities with the highest sense of integrity. Number 4, big one that we're going to be talking about even further, independence. Be free of conflicts related to professional responsibilities. You could also say independence and objectivity go along together. Be independent in both fact and appearance relating to public practice of audit and attest services. If you haven't seen the word attest before, it basically means the verification process. So when we audit financial statements, we're attesting to those financial statements as being both accurate and following the standards. Number 5, due care. Do professional care. Observe and follow the technical and ethical standards of the profession. Strive to improve competence and quality of service. And number 6, finally, scope and nature of services. So in public practice, we should observe the principles of the code in determining what the scope is. Next, let's talk about the AICPA rules of conduct. So there's a whole bunch of rules that are all laid out, but I'll kind of summarize them quickly for you. Again, 100, integrity and objectivity, 200 on independence, essentially focus on ensuring that there are no conflicts of interest in what you do from an attest function standpoint. There's general standards, there's compliance with standards, accounting principles, and that's really the focus on your professional competence, that due professional care that you're going to exercise during the audit function, and gathering the sufficient evidence to back up the principles you've been looking at and ensuring that the financial statements are in accordance with GAAP. 400 is acts discreditable. So it identifies things that a CPA could do that you potentially could have disciplinary actions on, even potentially losing your license. 500 is contingent fees. No contingency fees from clients that the firm performs audit or attest services. Number 510 is related to commissions and referral fees, because sometimes CPAs will refer clients to other CPA firms, and sometimes there's even commissions involved. Generally, there shouldn't be commissions, but when there is a commission that is okay or a referral fee that is allowed, there still should be proper disclosure if it is a permitted referral fee or commission. Number 600 is advertising and other forms of solicitation. Basically, we don't want false advertising in our profession. Don't say things you can't do. 700 is confidential client information. So we shall not disclose any confidential client information without the client's consent. 800 is a form of organization and name, and that depends on the states also, but essentially how you set up your practice as an organization. So as far as compliance with the code, it applies to professional services performed by AICPA members. So if your firm wants to do audit or attest services, at least one partner must be an AICPA member. And then it relies primarily on the voluntary cooperation of the AICPA members. And this is really an important thing to note, voluntary cooperation. Because if we lose public trust or public opinion changes, we might lose that voluntary cooperation and there might be some mandates. So we have peer reviews where other firms come in and will do a peer review of our practices to ensure we're following the guidelines. Any poor actions that are identified could result in disciplinary proceedings against an individual and potentially against the firm. The individual could lose their license. So the Code of Conduct also includes a conceptual framework, and it's really designed to help the auditor analyze relationships and circumstances that the code doesn't specifically address. But we'll talk about that in the next lecture on the AICPA conceptual framework and safeguards and threats to independence. So I hope this has given you an overview on the Code of Professional Conduct.